Most of the smartest people I know write, but not just for books or blogs or viral posts and tweets. They write to think, to process, to persuade, to lead, to sell, to build. And here's the truth no one tells you. If you want to get ahead in terms of life, business, relationships, you need to write better. Writing is not just about grammar. It's not just about using big words and sounding smart. Writing is thinking on paper. It's the act of translating the chaos in your mind into clarity, and clarity is power. In this episode, we unpack 3 main benefits of improving your writing, as well as 3 practical steps you can take today to improve your writing. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Minerals Podcast. I'm your host, Oba Okusanya, and I'm thrilled to have you here with me. This episode, I wanted to talk about the importance of improving your writing. You see, about 8 months ago, I launched a newsletter, and that journey has taught me so much. That journey has taught me, resilience, consistency, and all these other things. But I started to notice the impact of writing and releasing something weekly on other aspects of my life. And those benefits that I've noticed is what I want to talk through today. So essentially, about 8 months ago, like I said, I launched the Many Rose newsletter, and yeah, shameless plug. If you haven't already checked it out, you should check it out. Every week I send, just sort of like life notes and life thoughts and sort of the lessons I'm learning as I'm walking through different phases of life, be it in relationships, business, career, all that stuff. It's fun. It's exciting. And I use a lot of GIFs as well because it's cool like that, I guess. But yeah, you should check it out. There's a link in the description. Go subscribe, join the community, and get the newsletter. But anyways, I digress. In having to write that newsletter weekly, I've learned so much. And not just so much about newsletters or writing. I've learned so much about myself. Because one thing writing does for you is it sort of puts up a mirror in front of you and you get to look at yourself through your own words, you know. And which brings me to the first benefit of improving your writing. If you are somebody who struggles to express themselves, writing is one of the best ways to do that. If you struggle to maybe speak into a camera, talk to, address an audience, or you struggle with public speaking, all that stuff, one of the best ways for you to gain that confidence and for you to, it's almost like psych yourself up to a place where you're now confident, talk to people and hold conversations and all that stuff is by improving your writing. One thing that I noticed is that the more I wrote and the more I invested in my writing in terms of putting in the time and the practice of writing, I realized I started to become a lot more confident. And it's because, writing helps you to express yourself. Writing helps you to express yourself totally. When you're writing, you're not hiding behind words. I mean, I hope you're not. And if you're writing genuinely, you're not hiding behind words. You're not trying to, like, there's no audience that you're trying to code switch for. There's no audience that you're trying to maybe, um, you know, package the information in a different way just because of insecurities and all these other things. When you're writing and you're writing for an audience of one, which I would also advise that you do, that whatever it is that you're writing, have somebody in mind that you're writing for and writing to. When you do that, it peels back all the layers of, self-doubt and all the layers of insecurities, and it helps you to express yourself fully. And that's one of the most amazing things that could happen to anybody. It's the fact that they get to a place where they're comfortable enough to express themselves. So by improving your writing, you get to express yourself a whole lot more, and it's better and it's clearer. And you should definitely do that. Another benefit that I saw when it came to writing, and of course, like I said, in this journey of writing these newsletters consistently, is that it has actually helped to improve the clarity in my thinking. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but there's something about taking a pen or paper or a notepad or your phone, the notes app on your phone, and if you're trying to figure something out, there's something about writing that just helps to clarify the confusion in thoughts and the chaos in your mind. It's kind of crazy because I remember a time where I was working through a business idea that I had, and it just felt like there was so many disconnected pieces. And I was just like, okay, I just need to get in front of a pen and paper. And truth be told, I sat down and I started to just write, okay, this is what this part is going to do. This is what the ideal customer looks like. These are the main pain points we're solving. These are, this is the target market. This is the size of that market, blah, 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 blah. And before I knew it, the whole plan had come together. The disconnected pieces, all of a sudden, were now connected. So writing does that for you. It helps to put a lot of clarity to the chaos that's in your mind. And for me, that's also like therapeutic because if you're like me, if you're wired like me, my mind tends to be running at high speeds all through the day. And a lot of times it eventually gets to a point of overload and I can't even process more information and more data essentially. I I always need some sort of, you know, chaos manager is how I would put it to kind of help me process the thoughts, right? So writing does that for me, and a lot of people have actually alluded to this and have said this and have confirmed this as well. That one of the best ways they've figured out to one of the best methods of they figured out in terms of helping them to declutter their minds and helping them to be more clear in their thoughts is through writing. So by essentially improving your writing, you're also able to improve the clarity of your thoughts. And if you can improve the clarity of your thoughts, you can improve your communication, you improve your delivery, you essentially improve your life. Because think about it. There's like I mean, most of the communication that we do, of course, starts from the starting point of most of the communication that we do, and actually for all of the communication that we do is our thoughts. If you're not able to clarify your thoughts and you're not able to get clarity out of your thoughts, the communication that comes out of that thought is not going to be as effective as it should be. Right. So even if you're in business or you're in whatever it is that you're in career, whatever it is that you're in, we all know the importance of communication and the importance of writing. I mean, think about it. You write emails all day, you write text messages. This is not this is not, oh, yeah, just for people who are looking to write a book or something. No, this is for everyday people who depend on writing. We write so much, but have never taken the time, to say, you know what, I want to improve on my writing intentionally. And what I'm trying to encourage you to do with this video is just that. By saying I'm going to improve on my writing intentionally, you also help to improve on the clarity in your thoughts. Hey there, I had to interrupt the podcast episode to tell you about the Clarity 7 Communication Guide. This guide is for you if you've ever struggled with your communication, if you've struggled with passing a message across, being clear and concise in your communication, or if you just struggle with confidence in communicating, this guide is for you. I'm not an expert, I'm not a communication guru, I'm just a guy who's found some steps that worked and just wants to share that with his community. So if you need some help with your communication, this guide is for you. It's free. Get it in the description below. It's in the description of the podcast. Wherever you're watching or listening, get it and improve your communication today. Rooting for you always. Let's get back to the pod. Another, I guess, thing that I noticed in terms of me writing my newsletters and what that has done for me is the confidence that it has given me. And I kind of touched on this in the first point when I was talking about expressing yourself, but there's a confidence that writing gives you. There's a confidence that putting together words in a way that makes sense and flows, there's a confidence that gives you. And, it's not like, and I'm not saying maybe, and maybe you are out there and maybe you're a lot more confident than most people. That's great. But for some of us who maybe have struggled with, self confidence in different aspects of our lives, writing is one of the best ways to overcome that self confidence, that lack of self confidence, rather. You know, um, I started to notice that as I, wrote weekly newsletters, as I sent these out, um, and I got feedback, I started to notice that I became a little bit more confident with each week passing. And it's not like you're writing for the masses and it's not like you're writing for the applause, but let's not lie to ourselves. The applause does help to build that confidence. So writing will help you express yourself. Writing will help you clarify your thoughts, but writing will also give you the self-confidence that you need for other aspects of your life. Now you might be saying, okay, Oba, I've heard you. Writing is important. We all do it. And yeah, you've kind of explained the benefits, but how do I practically improve my writing? How do I, let's say at a level 1 today. How do I get to a level 3, a level 5 in writing? What can I do today to improve my writing? And I want to make these as practical as possible. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is to read more. I know it's crazy. The fact that I'm saying for you to improve your writing, you need to read more. See, there's this concept of garbage in, garbage out, right? Essentially, what flows into a thing is essentially what flows out of it. You can't write, or the level of your writing cannot be greater than the level of the things you read, the level of the content you consume, podcasts you listen to. So when it comes to writing, if you're trying to improve the quality of your writing, I encourage you to read more, and not just anything. I mean, yes, you can start from just reading anything, but at some point, the quality of what you read has to also improve, right? And this is not saying, oh, now you have to go read like textbooks, and now you have to go. No, no, no. I'm just saying, read whatever interests you, but at the highest quality. If it's romance novels, read that at the highest quality. Find the best authors in that. I mean, I don't know if you should be doing that, but some people like that stuff. So hey, but if that's what tickles your fancy, find the best romance novels out there and read them. If you're into the world of tech and you love to read about tech, find the best tech newsletters and read them. If you're just into like self improvement and all that stuff, find the best sources of self-improvement in words, in readable format, and just consume the content. Read the words. What you realize is that the more you take in and the more quality content you take in terms of written content, the more your writing improves. So the first step I need you to do is to read more. Yes, it'll take time. Yes, it's an investment. But guess what? You're improving your quality of writing, but you're also improving your quality of thinking. Readers are leaders, so read more. The next thing I would implore anyone and everyone listening to this or watching this to do to improve their writing is to practice. Practice makes perfect. You can't improve what you do not practice. And whatever you don't practice on will eventually die. So if you do not want your writing skills to deteriorate, if you don't want your writing skills to just go to nothing, you have to keep using them. You have to keep practicing. And of course, there's already aspects of our lives where we write daily. So yes, that's some practice, but I'm saying intentionally practice, not just the text here and not just the, I guess the tweet here and there, the social media post here and there. I'm saying sit down and intentionally say, you know what? This is a topic I'm really interested in. I want to write about it. Or this is an idea I have. I want to write about it. Or this is a conversation I had with somebody. They mentioned something and I want to write about it. By doing that, your writing improves consistently. Your writing improves like over time because you're putting in the reps, right? There's that I forget who says this. I don't know if it's Michael Jordan, that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. It just goes back to the importance of taking in and putting in the reps. When it comes to writing, you have to put in the reps. Please, 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 please put in the reps. Practice as often as you can, wherever you can. And you know what? Like, let's make this even more practical. We all have cell phones, I assume. Like, most people have cell phones. Most people have mobile phones. You can just open up the Notes app on your phone and just create a folder or whatever it's called on there called writing. And in there, you could just journal every day. Like, this is how my day went. These are some of the things that I went through. This person said this. It got me thinking about this, this, this. And try to connect the thoughts in the writing. Journal, like you could go the path that I did and start a newsletter and share your experiences and your thoughts with the world and share your expertise with the world. It only makes you a better person if you write more. You could just even write your lovely spouse, wife, husband, whatever it is, boyfriend, girlfriend, love letter every week. Honestly, it'll improve your writing if you want it to go that way. Right? So put in the practice. Practice, practice, practice. Put it in. Make sure that, you know what, not a single day goes by, not a single week goes by where you're not intentionally writing something that somebody else gets to see. Which brings me to the third step that I want to, that the third advice, I guess, or step that I think, you should take to improve your writing. Get feedback. I don't want you to write in isolation. I don't want you to write where it's only you that's seeing this. Because guess what? Yes, your writing will improve, but it will only improve as much as the feedback that you're also receiving. And if you're writing in isolation, you're not receiving any feedback. So what I would advise is that you write in such a way that at least one person sees this. So I am of the opinion that everyone should write publicly. What does that mean? Write something that other people see, write something to other people, write something for other people, not just for yourself. Yes, there's an importance of writing for yourself, for self-reflection and all that stuff, but to actually get the feedback that you need from other people, they need to be able to see the end result. They need to see the end product of whatever it is that you're writing. So write publicly. If it's social media post, if it's a newsletter, if it's an industry report that you create, whatever it is, write publicly. It's crazy how we're always so, I guess, sometimes shy of writing publicly, but we do this all the time. Think about this. You're at work, you're sending emails. What is that? You are writing publicly. People are seeing that. So the jump from sending emails at work to you writing a piece on LinkedIn, for instance, it's not that huge of a jump. It's just in our minds. And if we get over the fact that not everyone's actually paying that much attention anyways, and people are just trying to live their lives and figure out their own lives, you get to actually just go build and write publicly. You know what I mean? So don't focus on what are people going to say when they see this. By holding yourself accountable and being consistent in writing publicly and in writing in such a way that other people see it, or it's sent to other people, or it's for other people, and getting that feedback is crucial to your growth in terms of developing your writing skill. And I want to touch on something that I touched on like earlier in the video when I talked about the fact that you should write to a person. This piece of advice not just applies to writing, but also applies to even just recording videos. See, whenever I'm recording these videos, I'm not assuming that I'm talking to many people. I'm recording these videos in such a way that I am assuming that I'm talking to one person. I have that person in front of me, and it's that person that I'm trying to convey these thoughts towards and convey the message towards, as opposed to I'm talking to many people. Because the purpose of whatever it is you're doing changes based on the audience. So what am I trying to say by saying all of that? Whenever you're writing, have somebody in mind. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, it could be a relative, whoever it is, whatsoever it is, have somebody in mind and write from your heart. Especially when it comes to topics that, are sort of not really head topics is what I would call them. These are not topics that are about maybe, so this is not, for instance, somebody who is a PhD holder writing a paper. Let's say it's a topic about how, there's inequality in the workplace when it comes to a certain sect of people. And it's an experience that you've had and you want to write about that. Don't write that from your head. Of course, you're going to use your head, but what I mean is write with your heart. Put emotion in your writing. Because at the end of the day, human beings just want connections. And whether it's through words or through videos, everybody just wants to connect with what you're saying or what you're writing. Everybody just wants to connect. So that being said, make sure that you're writing to one person, that you have one person in mind when you're writing whatever it is that you're writing. To be quite honest with you, I think writing has changed my life. Actually, I know writing has changed my life. The progression that I've seen in terms of confidence, the progression that I've seen in terms of getting to a place where I'm able to share ideas and talk to people is through writing. And I didn't realize how much writing I had been doing even prior to, like, say, becoming a content creator or a podcaster or a newsletter author, whatever, all of that. I was looking through some of my notes, and from 10, 15 years ago, I had always been writing, and it was just, I mean, looking back now, I'm like, what was I even writing? Well, I mean, it was writing. It was some sort of, hey, like, this is the plan I have. This is what I'm hoping to achieve. those writings. Like it's so significant and it's so important to do. Please, I implore you, I encourage you, whatever it is that you're doing. So here's the long and short of it, right? If you want to think better, you want to live better, you want to live better, you want to connect with people, you want to write words that move people, you need to improve your writing skills. You need to write better. It might be the most important skill you haven't worked on yet. This might be the thing that changes it for you. So if this episode hit home, I would love for you to share it with a friend. Share it with somebody who popped into your mind, probably when I said something, or if it's a couple of people, share it with them. And I want you to do something. I want you to also add a little bit of a note. Let's get in some writing practice in there. Add a little note saying, hey, I was thinking about you when I saw this video and I know that you'll find this valuable, so I'm sharing it with you. Please do so. Share it with your friends. Share it with whoever it is that comes to mind. And also, don't forget to subscribe. The way that you can support us and support the Many Roads podcast in all that we do is by just subscribing. So please give us a subscribe and like, comment as well. Let me know your thoughts about this concept of writing and improving your writing skills. And if you've seen other benefits, and I'm sure there are other benefits that I didn't talk about because of time, but if there are other benefits that you wanted to highlight, put it in the comments, and I'd love to chat with you about that. Right? So till next time, God bless.